And the thunder rolls. Another round of storms headed to the metro area now after a day that saw lots of rain, bit of flooding, minor stuff for the most part, just like compost can relocating kind of rain. This is actually heartbreaking for a family because you know how long they waited for that new compost bin from the city?
Long time.
They wait months for that. Hopefully it goes to somebody who needs it.
Lots of rain and hail across northern Colorado. Nothing severe, just a classic Colorado spring day. Something we're seeing a lot of this month. We're tracking the wet weather across the Front Range tonight. And of course, we're going to talk about the Nuggets' big win. First, though, we want to get to Danielle tracking the next round of rain heading our way. Danielle?
Moving in across parts of the Denver metro area, a little less dramatic than what we saw earlier this afternoon with the lightning, the hail, the rumbling thunder out there. Tonight, this is just really good, beneficial rain. We're looking at that rain lining up the I-25 corridor and then still a few pockets off to the eastern plains, otherwise pretty much shut off up in the high country. We'll zoom in up to northern Colorado where we just have a little bit of light rainfall shifting east of I-25 and then back here in the metro area. Nice drink as the Nuggets are winding down. Highlands Ranch south toward Castle Rock, just some good rain. The lightning has stopped as well. Off to the eastern side of the state, still some pockets of heavy rain. However, most of the lightning is now in parts of Kansas. As we look at the future cast, 10, 11 o'clock, we're still going to be watching this rainfall push, and even at 2 a.m. Pretty good sleeping weather, right? Open up the windows, let in that fresh air. By early tomorrow morning, 7, 8 a.m., we'll be looking at a bit of fog. Still going to be unsettled and cool, a little drizzly out there, and that's pretty much going to be the name of the game for your Friday. Now, look at this, 4.87 inches thus far into the month of May. We just saw a little bit more add up out at DIA, and that has now put us at the 8th wettest May on record. We still have a couple more weeks to go. Wouldn't be surprised if we make it into the top 3. It is so soggy out there. The rain continues overnight tomorrow. Like I mentioned, still going to be another cooler day with highs only in the lower 60s. A look ahead to the weekend forecast, a big one with the Colfax Marathon happening. We'll go over the timing of all of that. Some evening thunderstorms once again rolling in. We'll be breaking that down in about 10 minutes. Again, I'll be tracking all of that and also looking ahead toward what's going on in northern Colorado. 9 News reporter Jennifer Meckles has been out there. It was a mess earlier. They had to deal with the hail, and now this evening, is it raining on you? I can't tell.
It is. It is once again raining on us. We are in Longmont along Main Street, and it is once again raining, everyone. 3 quick things I want to tell you about with northern Colorado today. Number 1, the National Weather Service was very worried about the areas around the Cameron Peak burn scar. Remember that really big fire from back in 2020? So we went up in that general area today and drove around, and this is what it looked like driving through the Masonville area today along Buckhorn Road. I mean, National Weather Service was worried that potential flooding up there could be life-threatening today. This afternoon, Larimer County Sheriff's Office says no, they did not have any significant calls or no rescues happening up there today. We saw mostly just a lot of clouds, rain. That creek was flowing a little high, but nothing of any trouble up in the Masonville area. Now let's go to number 2, Longmont. They got walloped with soaking rains today, even a good dose of hail. A lot of viewer videos sent in to us today. Thank you guys for being our eyes on the ground. We saw cars driving through flooded neighborhood streets. We saw sheets of rain coming down, and so much of that just really small hail falling in and around Longmont. But here's the thing about rain and hail. The hail melts, and the rain, it rushes really fast. It causes some flooding, and then it cleared out. The third thing I want to show you gave us a laugh today. There was an area of a business parking lot that just got drenched. There was so much rain to the point where, the porta potty wasn't really on solid ground. It didn't look good, but within an hour or so, it all drained out and it was gone, and it was so dramatic, and then it so wasn't, you guys. We even saw somebody who left some sprinklers on today, which was just comical considering how hard it was raining, but that is the nature of a spring storm for you.
There's always somebody wasting their money on water when it rains.
Exactly. No, the Nuggets, like the Nuggets, they sneak up on you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pull out a win and move down. Okay.
Thank you, Jenny.
All the wet weather is paying off for our drought situation. For the first time in about 2 years, the I-25 corridor is completely drought-free. Only about 10% of the state is in moderate drought or worse. More than half the state is clear, and that's not even counting this week's rain. Take a look at this time last year. On the left side of your screen, when all of Colorado was under some level of drought.
It's a shame the ESPN team doesn't ever watch the Nuggets because they are missing greatness. Nuggets now 2-0. In the Western Conference Finals over the Lakers. Rods along. I mean, the toughness showed by this team They knew that they were going to get a very good Lakers team that was in a somewhat desperate position, looking to go 1-1 while they were in Denver. And what they put together in the fourth quarter tonight was just astonishing.
It was special. It's also a Lakers team that everyone kept talking about, even though the Nuggets won.
How are they
going to Joker had one of the greatest performances in NBA playoff history. Michael Malone admitted that was a little fuel to the fire, plus the fact that Lisa Salters doesn't know who the Joker is. What a difference 48 hours can make. On Tuesday, the Nuggets jumped all over the Lakers early on, then held them off down the stretch. Tonight, it was Denver with the comeback. Two completely different games, but the Nuggets won both. Lakers with a far better start, although everything didn't go their way. LeBron James, give me jam or not. To steal a line from Mike Klis's tweet, Michael Jordan never whiffed like that. LA up 5 at the half, a lead they built to 11 in the second, and then welcome to the Jamal Murray show. He had 37 points. 23 came in the fourth quarter. This time they didn't let up. 108-103, Nuggets up 2-love, headed back to LA. And that's the thing, he was actually struggling for 3 quarters, and then in the fourth quarter, I mean, he is so clutch when it matters most. I mean, you have the Joker, you have Jamal, you have two absolute superstars on the best team in the NBA, a team that the rest of the nation is finally getting to know. Joker is going to the podium right now. He, by the way, is the back-to-back MVP until this year.
What's his name again?
Yeah, Nikola Jokic.
Okay.
Get to know him.
Oh, no.
And not you guys, and not your historic performance, or the fact that you're averaging your triple doubles. What has been your perspective on all of that?
This is the last since we make playoffs, it's like that. So it's nothing new for us. I mean, to be honest, I like it. We don't care, whatever, Even if you remember, even in the bubble, when we beat Utah, they were talking how they blow out the lead. When we beat Clippers, how they blow out the lead. Nobody talk about how we won the game. So it's normal for us. We don't. I don't, to be honest, pay attention at all. Thank you, Cody.
Got to tell you this. So ESPN is on right now. We're watching ESPN. They are going live with LeBron James. As you can see, Nikola Jokic, the back-to-back MVP until this year and should have been a 3-time MVP, is talking at the podium. We're going live with them.
Listen,
they are not.
I get it. He's not your prototypical NBA superstar. He looks like the beleaguered middle manager at an HVAC company. I get it. But, they're up 2-0, and he's having one of the greatest seasons.
Try research.
So
Google.
LeBron's press conference just ended. He got up and left, and now the Joker's on ESPN. Get to know him.
Good thing y'all got local TV, huh?
Yeah.
How about that? All right, more on the Nuggets later with Rod. So DIA kept running today despite all the nasty weather, and then it was actually staffing problems that kept flights from leaving the ground. It wasn't the airport's issue, but it was the FAA that didn't have the staff. Holdup started around 6 o'clock tonight. Flights started leaving again within about an hour. We reached out to the FAA for more information, but they didn't get back to us.
New court documents show an Aurora police officer was speeding more than 100 miles per hour without lights and sirens before he got into a deadly crash. That officer resigned. He's now facing criminal charges. A neighbor shared security camera video of Officer Eduardo Landros racing down Chambers last month in the moments before he hit and killed another driver. And today we got our first look at court documents showing he was also on his computer as he was driving. Investigators say the call he was speeding to wasn't an emergency. Landros resigned, and today the district attorney charged him with vehicular homicide and criminally negligent homicide. If convicted, he could spend up to 12 years in prison.
For the first time today, Denver took in migrants who didn't come here on their own. Some of the dozens of people who arrived in the city today came via charter bus sent by Texas's Republican Governor Greg Abbott. The bus dropped them off at Civic Center Park. Some of the migrants told our journalists that they were actually happy to be here in Denver. A few said they plan to stay in the city. Others say this gets them closer to their intended destination. Up until now, we've seen some nonprofits in Texas that have chartered buses for people who want to come to Denver. We've also seen people paying their own way to come here. Governor Abbott's been busing migrants to so-called sanctuary cities around the country, as well as dropping them off outside the homes of Democratic politicians. Denver Mayor Michael Hancock called this political theater. Then Mayor Hancock took part in a bit of his own. In the same statement, Hancock said that he's more than happy to send Abbott the bill for the extra support Denver now has to provide. Hancock's not actually going to do that. We talked to a spokesperson who said that was actually just a reference to the fact that Texas is getting more federal funding to help with migrants, and Denver wants more of the money. So far, the city has received about $115 in federal aid per migrant who's arrived. Compare that to New York City, where they got $500 per person arrived. Chicago has received more than $1,000 per migrant that they've helped.